On the ground.
And welcome back to In the Cage with Bards here on NextSportsStar.com. And joining me now, we have the woman who will be facing Amanda Bell this weekend at Battle for the Border 2 in Cranbrook, British Columbia at the Western Financial Place. A great friend of the program, the one, the only, they call her Not So Sweet. She is Charmaine Tweet. How are you doing today, Charmaine?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Doing very well. And since the last time we spoke, you actually celebrated a birthday. So I know you took a rest day for it, but did you get into any hardcore celebrating?
No.
No?
Not really. We went out for lunch at Earl's, and that was about it.
No? Is that because of the fight camp coming up? You didn't want to get too far off weight or anything?
Yeah, pretty much. There's been a couple of my birthdays where we've really gone all out and celebrated, but no, this one was pretty laid back, and I actually chose the restaurant according to how much I figured I would eat there. We had been looking at an all-you-can-eat sushi place. I was like, yeah, you know what? Better not go there.
No, you would have had to pay for it the next day, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, no one needs that. And also, since we spoke, your husband and manager, Cord Crothers, put on a great show in Saskatchewan, the Prestige Fight Club. Looks like you had some great fights there and some great talent came into town as well.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was really, really impressed with what they were able to pull off. It was one of the best shows I've seen.
Yeah, and I was actually reading an interview recently where they called you and Cord Saskatchewan's MMA power couple. What do you think of that?
I don't know. That's kind of cool. We're just us. To me, you talk to people around our town, and it's like, well, yeah, you're just Charmaine, and he's just Cord. So it's kind of cool to hear other people saying that about us.
Yeah, there you go. The Saskatchewan MMA power couple. I really like the sound of that. You should put that on T-shirts or something. I don't know. But it is weight cutting week for you, and you are still working the day job. Have you been scaring customers at the bank coming in for loans?
No, they don't come to me for loans, thank goodness.
No.
But no, I haven't. You know what? They're used to dealing with me. They usually know when it's getting closer to fight time, and I'm a little bit grouchier than usual. So.
That's funny. And you've also got that big win over Cy Jewett last time we had you on the show. We were promoting that fight, and that was you looked great in that fight. You absolutely just steamrolled her. How happy were you with your performance in that fight?
Oh, I was so happy. You know what? I did exactly what was expected of me and what my coach told me to do, and had been working with me to do. So, I mean, it was textbook jiu-jitsu, he said. So I was very, very happy with that.
Yeah, Cy Jewett, she looked, really overmatched in that fight. I don't know if it was just a size difference or what, but, was it size, was it experience, or were you just so honed into your technique that it didn't matter who was in front of you, that they were going down?
Well, you know what? That was the plan, was to take her down, but she did it for me, so
yeah,
it was... Yeah, I was just honed in, and I was ready to go, and I was really calm going in there, and, I knew what to look for coming from her, and she threw exactly what I expected her to throw, and unfortunately for her, she slipped when she did it, but, as far as I was concerned, that was how the fight was going to end anyways, was either the rear naked choke or a guillotine, some sort of submission.
Yeah, well, you looked great in doing so. And I've heard that you've taken a new approach to your training camp for this upcoming fight with Amanda Bell. Is that right?
Yeah, it's been tough in Saskatchewan where there's not one place where I can get absolutely everything I need. And it's kind of all come together under one roof now, and it's really nice for me. Like, I work on my striking in the same place. I work on my ground game and my wrestling in the same place. So... yeah, I'm really, really happy with what's going on now.
Yeah, was there any sense of resistance on your part, because you're on quite a roll? So a lot of athletes, they tend to get superstitious in a lot of ways, and when things are working, they don't want to change. But you seem to be embracing the change.
My career has been about change from day one. Like, I started out with Duke Rufus, and I spent a number of great years there. I was so happy with where I was at, and then I moved home, and it's been just about change since then. Like, I've changed gyms, I've changed instructors. We just couldn't find the right fit for. I'm really used through difficult the coaching that I'm looking for. So really, there's no suspicion for me there. It's just change is good, and every change that has come has led me to someplace that's better. So I embrace change, to be honest with you.
Good stuff. And I've seen you working with the O2 mask. I saw the pictures on your Facebook. You look like you're ready to go. You look super shredded. You actually look like shredded tweet, if I may coin a phrase.
I love shredded tweet or shredded wheat when I'm not fighting. So that's awesome. Yeah, I'm feeling really good. The training mask has been I've really noticed a difference with that. We were working a couple of different drills at the gym the other day, and all the other people I was training with were laying there like gasping for breath. I'm like, oh my God, that was so hard. I was like, well, I mustn't have been working hard enough then, or else I'm just in really, really good shape right now. And one of the girls that I train with is like, yeah, no, you're just in really good shape.
Yeah, you definitely seem like you're ready to go 15 minutes if need be this weekend.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Amanda Bell as a fighter? You know, she put up a great effort in her pro debut in Invicta. It was a losing effort against Tamika Brents, but she put up a great effort in that fight, and she's got some good names on her amateur record as well. She's got a win over Jessamine the Gun Duke, so she's no one to be taking lightly.
Yeah, no, and I'm not by any means taking her lightly. She's tough. Like, I watched her fight with Tamika there just recently. I watched the one with Jessamine as well, but especially with Tamika, like, she comes out guns blazing. So, you know, I just have to be ready for a brawl, basically. You know, coming from a Thai boxing background, it's, you know, a lot of you stand in front of each other, but it's kick for kick and back and forth. And this one, it's like she's coming out to take my head off. Whereas Thai boxing, not so much. Like, yeah, we're out there to beat one another, but you got those big puffy gloves and that sort of thing. So, I mean, she's going to be tough. She's going to have heavy hands, and you know, I think that I'm prepared for that.
Yeah, do you think that's where she presents the biggest threat to you? Is, you know, coming out kind of wild brawling versus your technique, and you got to worry about getting caught with one of those big shots? Is that the biggest concern?
Yeah, pretty much. I think so. I mean, I definitely learned my lesson in that respect against Anna Barone, where, you know, I didn't really know what to expect from her, and she came out guns blazing and just overwhelmed me. So ever since that fight, pretty much with any fighter that I fight, I look for that, because I notice that with a lot of women's fighting, as it's not necessarily all that technical, but there's a lot of bombs being thrown.
And after this fight, you've actually got plans to fight for a title in England in July. Is that right?
That was the plan. I'm not entirely certain what's going to be happening with that right now. Oh gosh, what was it? About 2 weeks ago, we learned that Stacey Hayes, the girl I was supposed to be fighting, had a fight booked for 2 weeks prior, which, according to my contract, was breach of contract because she wasn't supposed to book anything within 30 days. And it's kind of come out now that maybe she hadn't signed the contract to begin with, so I didn't actually have an opponent, but the organization that I was fighting for didn't let me know that.
Wow.
So it's kind of up in the air as to what's going to be going on with that one, but we're just going to wait until after the first here, you know, when we get home on Monday and start figuring out what's happening there. But the original plan was, yes, I was going to England to fight for the title against Stacey Hayes, and then this fight in Cranbrook came up, so we booked that as well, and thank goodness we did, because I might not have the fight in England now, so.
Yeah, it sounds like there's some dodgy management things going on there. And speaking of dodgy managers, Bret Ashley is at the controversy continues to rage around him. Allegations of impropriety, of intimidation, of sexual misconduct. Lots of bad things being said about this guy right now. And you actually had a prior business relationship with him. He was briefly your manager around the time of your SFL fight. What was your experience like with Bret Ashley?
You know, I honestly didn't deal with Bret a whole lot myself. There was a couple of phone conversations that I'd had with him, and you know what? He was perfectly nice to me. There was no come-ons, no, you know, I wasn't treated poorly by the man. But in the same vein, I don't really feel like he worked that hard for me. Now, that could be partially due to the whole SFL debacle there, where they don't like to deal with managers, so they refuse to deal with Bret, whereas they would deal with Cord. So mostly for the SFL situation there, they went through my husband, and you know, we got everything set up there. But when they didn't pay me, we decided to bring Bret in and, you know, let him get it out there that I fought for this company and that they hadn't paid me. So he, you know, started putting it up on his sites, and And then there was some back and forth emails that went to the SFL's promotion company in the States. And, you know, seeing a few of those emails, because they were CC'd to Cord, I mean, it definitely wasn't as professional as it should have been. There was emails between Cord and Bret that actually Bret had passed on to the promotion guy from, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, from the SFL, that never should have gone to him. So that's basically the only dealings I had with Bret, and he was quite insistent that I pay him right away, even before I had received all my funds. So, you know, we kind of felt like, especially with the impropriety of the emails being sent back and forth, that maybe it wasn't the best fit for us. So thank goodness we ended things pretty quickly there. Like, he seemed to want out because Cord still had, you know, he still did a lot with my career as opposed to letting Bret just run with it, sort of thing. So, you know, it seemed like Bret wanted to be out, and we weren't really happy with the emails that went back and forth and the tone of the emails and just kind of how he spoke to people. So, yeah, I mean, we ended it before my term was up with him. And like I said, thank goodness we did, because that sort of went down in flames there. Yeah,
absolutely. And at least, you know, Cord's going to have your best interests at heart, so you don't have to worry about that. But, you know, someone with your experience, well, what advice would you offer younger fighters, you know, that are maybe in a similar situation to a Bret Ashley kind of situation, so that they're not taken advantage of or exploited?
You know, if something doesn't feel right to you, chances are it's not. So, you know what? Speak up for yourselves. There's only one person you really have to answer to or for, and that's yourself. So if something doesn't feel right or you're not feeling comfortable, get yourself out of that situation. If you have a manager, you don't feel like he has your best interests at heart, you know, end that relationship and move on. And there's a lot of people, if you feel you're being mistreated in the WMMA community, who will have your back, as we've seen with the situation with Bret here. Like, so many different people, like, you know, Shannon Knapp, Janet Martin, Sam Wilson, they all come out and speak out against this guy. And you know what? These are very well-respected women, and if you're having issues, they will definitely go to bat for you.
Absolutely. Well, Charmaine, thanks so much for joining the program. Again, it's always a pleasure to speak with you. The fight with Amanda Bell this weekend, Battle for the Border 2 in Cranbrook, British Columbia at the Western Financial Place. And Charmaine, if you have any last things you want to get off your chest here, or any thank yous or shout-outs you want to give, then this is your time.
You know, I just want to say, first of all, if you guys are in the Cranbrook area, you know, within an hour or two, you're looking for an awesome night out, some exciting fights, get on their website and buy some tickets, because it's going to be a really, really good card. As usual, I just need to thank my friends, my family, my fans, my husband, Cord Crothers, for doing all that he does for me. He just recently is starting a new sports management company, so, you know, maybe some of those girls who've left Mr. Ashley want to check out Executive Sports Marketing Management Group. Like I said, the name is on Facebook, and they can just check out Executive Sports Marketing Management Group. It's a mouthful, I know, but if you can't find it, look on my husband's Facebook page. His name's Cord Crothers, and you'll find it there. A big shout out to all my sponsors. We have Dedicated Few, my MMA cauliflower ears, which everybody sees me wearing around in those photos. Those goofy looking ears, but they're a really good little marketing tool for your sports organization if you're looking for fundraising. Way Canada. Oh my goodness, an amazing Canadian. Highly recommend it. Basically, that's about it for now. There's so many other people I can thank, but that would take a really long time. So,
well, hopefully, you know, we can get a proper list of the sponsors, and if you get that fight in England in July sorted out, you can come back and thank every single one of them. How's that?
That would be wonderful.
All right. Charmaine, not so sweet tweet here on In the Cage with Bards on NextSportsStar.com, and we'll be back to wrap things up right after this.
The most fun you can have without being punched in the face. Carlin Bardsley delivers the country's premier MMA show daily from 2 to 3 p.m. right here on NSS.